Well, Bennett Kessler filed this following report. With passion and relentless opposition, an estimated 70 or more people objected to the Inyo County Planning Commission's request for approval of a draft renewable energy development general plan amendment. After more than 3 hours of virtually all public opposition, the commission voted 4-1 to send the plan on to the Inyo County Board of Supervisors. This amidst groans and shouts in opposition to that vote. Now, the room was packed, and initially some people sat out in the hall. So insistent were many to be heard. More than 30 people spoke. All but one objected to the some 14 proposed renewable energy development areas, from Laws to Independence to Deep Springs and Death Valley. Now, the proposal supports industrial scale solar and wind development in these areas. The plans will have to go through an environmental review process, but the public was in no mood to let it go any further than the Planning Commission. Now, testimony ranged from heartfelt and poetic words to accusations that the Planning Department had misrepresented the will of the people. Paul Freytheim showed slides of the beautiful valley that would be, as some said, marred with huge solar arrays. He proposed a solar panel canopy over the aqueduct to avoid impacts in the valley. Brian Costers accused the plan of saying that the public supports these developments when in fact they do not. Several people brought up this same criticism. Cindy Kamler of Eastern Sierra Wildlife Care said she was speaking for the animals. Said Kamler, quote, "Displaced wildlife is dead wildlife," end quote. All of the large solar arrays would clear-cut square miles of habitat. Mike Prather said the areas designated for potential projects would impact the entire Lower Owens River project, designed to bring back river habitat and not for industrial development. In closing, Prather said, quote, "The real issue is the city of Los Angeles," end quote. Now, it was LADWP that proposed a 1,200-acre solar project south of Independence and across from Manzanar. Now, on that note, a half a dozen Japanese Americans objected to the county's plans for widespread energy development. One man had been imprisoned in Manzanar in the 1940s. He said LADWP turned the Owens Lake into a, quote, "devil's playground," end quote, which he said they now want to do next to Manzanar National Historic Site. He and others talked about the desolation and despair of the original Manzanar camp and how development near it would destroy that memory that they have tried to preserve. April Zerlak said the planners were trying to, quote, "hold the people hostage to an artificial deadline," end quote. Now, the proposed plans came out last week and include 358 pages of information. People asked for workshops and a chance to understand all of the details. Planning Director Josh Hart said that would happen during the environmental process. Now the controversy goes to the Board of Supervisors, with a good section of the public more outraged than before. Now, you can check out public opinion letters on our website and at the website deepestvalley.com. Now, on that Board of Inyo Planning Commission Supervisors vote, Bill Stoll was the lone vote against it. Well, recent vandalism of gated mines on the Inyo National Forest have led to concerns for safety for visitors, can expose bats to pathogens and disease, and add additional costs of regating the mines. This according to a press release from the Inyo National Forest. Now, the forest is working to block abandoned mines that pose a safety hazard to the visiting public. Among the possible multiple hazards include open shafts, unstable rock and decayed support, deadly gases and lack of oxygen, explosives and toxic chemicals, and horizontal and vertical openings. Now, you can visit Stay Out, Stay Alive for more information about safety around abandoned mines. Now, additionally, many abandoned mines protect and preserve important habitat for wildlife, especially bats, according to that press release. White nose syndrome is a fungal disease killing bats in North America. The disease is spread among bats, but may also be spread by people who carry the fungus to uninfected areas. Now, while white nose bat syndrome has yet to be detected in western states, it has spread rapidly in the last several years, killing an estimated 5 million bats. By avoiding abandoned mines, these areas can provide a refuge for bats. Said Margaret Wood, District Ranger of the White Mountain and Mount Whitney districts, quote, "We understand that old mines incite curiosity and the urge to explore. However, these mines are gated to protect you and key habitat. Please respect the closures," end quote. Well, officials from CAL FIRE, San Bernardino unit, did lift the burn suspension in Inyo County this morning. CAL FIRE, according to a press release, will continue to monitor weather and fuel conditions. Acting Unit Chief Rod Bywater said, quote, "The drought is not over and the effects of the precipitation will likely be relatively short-lived in the vegetation. Burn restrictions will be implemented again as conditions change," end quote. Now, burn permits still required in Inyo County, and each burn permit request will be accompanied with a physical inspection of the property. Burning suspension was lifted in Mono County on January 30th. Now, the special restrictions that remain in Inyo County regarding open fires include restrictions on campfires, cooking fires, warming fires, burn permits, and project burn permits. To find out more about how to fire safe your homes and property, you can contact your local fire department, CAL FIRE, or go to the CAL FIRE webpage, and that is fire.ca.gov. And Bennett Kessler filed this following story. A couple from Independence knew it was time for their baby to arrive. They got in the car and headed to Northern Inyo Hospital, but the baby decided not to wait. Now, the couple reached Big Pine last Friday, and it was time to call an ambulance. The dad-to-be called 911. Bishop Police dispatched Simon's ambulance and Big Pine Fire. That baby was not in the mood to wait at all, and the birth took place en route to the hospital. The Simon's ambulance crew delivered the baby with mom's and infant's help. Now, the California Highway Patrol was also on scene before the ambulance arrived, and according to Bishop Police, the CHP and Inyo County Sheriff gave the ambulance and new parents an escort to Bishop. Bishop Police cleared traffic at Main and Line Streets, and the ambulance continued Code 3 to Northern Inyo Hospital. But all the hard work was done by then. Now, for that newborn, quite the auspicious beginning with red lights, sirens, and a police escort. We'll be back with weather and sports.